Hello everyone, I'm your class leader Nate. Welcome back to Be Great Economics. Let's get started. So today we're going to be going over trading, savings, and investment, the overflow between the three, and how to better manage your understanding of these assets or functions within your life. So savings, we're relatively familiar with the concept. The idea of savings is to preserve your purchasing power for later. We traditionally think of this in the little picture of the piggy bank. It's budgeting, it's managing your earnings. The majority of people are capable of saving in the United States. I'll say that again. The majority of people are capable of saving in the United States, but the United States has a drastically low savings rate because people want to consume and spend. When you create a lot of excess productivity, a lot of earnings, or excess energy, you want to store it. Think of it as the idea of a battery, being able to use it for later. But everything has a bit of a difference or variation in how that savings will work, and a lot of forms of savings will decay. Our extra productivity can be stored. People have done it for thousands of years. Think about granaries, the idea of storing your harvest for later. Right? It's preparing for the winter. That's a form of savings. It's not exactly greed, it's preservation. If you want to retire, you have to have savings. If you want to be able to make up for an emergency event, you need a savings. If you want to plan for something, you have to have savings. So it's taking that excess harvested resource, most commonly in the form of money, and holding on to it. When people think of savings, they think of putting their money in a bank, but we know that there's a decay with things like inflation, where the prices of things will go up and the value of your currency will go down. So we have to look at ways to save because we want a better battery when we save. When we talk about trading, we're talking about the basics of exchanging something. Traditionally, this is considered like barter. So when people are in an economy that's a bartering economy, they consider trading items for value. So say I have ham because I have pigs and I want chicken. So I'm going to trade a pig for a certain amount of chickens and we have to come to an agreement. This is really inefficient, but the idea of finding that better battery involves a form of trading. So a lot of times we also think with trading, we think of stock market trading. This is really just trying to select assets that have a better opportunity in front of them. It's called speculation, forecasting of the future need. So when you're forecasting, you're looking at either price appreciation or growth. Something that is unknown has a risk to it. But speculation exists in all things. We're taking a speculative risk with everything. We like to think that we're not speculating about holding on to the dollar, but what we're really speculating on is that it won't be bad enough to where I will be concerned when it comes to something like inflation or government inaction. That's why something like speculation and understanding how it applies into your life actually applies to everything you do. So when we learn to expand that speculative skill, that forecasting skill, we can start to make better moves in our lives, find that better battery. So investment, it's assets that are expected to appreciate over time or provide some form of continuous yield. Dividends are examples of stocks that give out continuous yield. Meanwhile, a stock can also appreciate in growth. One thing that we consider investments, we consider buying property an investment. Like let's say we have a farm, we buy land, that's an investment. But it's also purchasing the water to water your plants is an investment because eventually you'll harvest that and turn that into another form of savings. The farmer is going to save cash. He's also going to have a granary and hold on to grains to sell during the off seasons of growing so that this way they're worth more when the demand is higher, and that's forecasting. Other investments people think of as like family businesses, but these are all also forms of saving because anything that we put energy into, we're looking to get back that energy. We're looking to get back that effort. And so there's overlay between savings, investment, and trading where we have to make trade-offs or exchanges because there is a limited supply of all things in our lives. Some of them have continuous refills, but they are eventually limited somewhere in some way, shape, or form. The farmer has to pay a water bill, so there's only so much water that you can place on there. Water has a cost, so you don't want to overwater, underwater, and there's decisions to make on how much overwatering that is really overwatering because also the plants can only handle so much, so there may be too much speculation on how much water they need. So there's clearly a lot of speculation that plays throughout this, and there's ways to advance your life through savings, finding better batteries through trading, and investing into better batteries. So the investment is the better battery, saving is holding on to it, and trading is getting that better battery. I hope that that made sense. It was a very simple, short episode. Hopefully I can keep these relatively simple so that this way it doesn't cause too much headache. I know that it's a lot and we don't learn very much throughout our early years of education. I wish I had been given a lot of these tools, so luckily I've put together a lot of my time to get here. I'm hoping that this can build the community and get us along the way to our 1,000 to 1 million, so help me out with our next trade. We're moving along fine with this. Up next will be Introduction to Rudimentary Technical Analysis. So we'll go over some basics on how to analyze charts like stock charts, price charts, and then we can also talk about risk and outcome asymmetry in the following episode and leverage. Upcoming ideas will continue to advance our skills, but I am sticking to a lot of the basics as we go. We do have plenty of time to continue to expand this channel, and I hope that it's informative. If you have a question on something basic or something that you've wanted to know more of, leave me a comment below and let me know. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Kobe.io to see how I manage an active account, and see you next time.